afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Liam Kenny. We have a potential severe weather outbreak on our hands as we speak right now, especially as we head into the late portions of this afternoon, then eventually maybe even into the overnight hours of tonight. Some people could be in for a very restless night, especially if you live in northeastern Texas, Arkansas, and eventually into Oklahoma. All right. Now, where is this going to be happening? Some of you might be going, "What? There's severe weather expected tonight?" Yes, there is. This is the SPC outlook, short for Storm Prediction Center. This is basically telling us exactly where the National Weather Service thinks that severe weather is most possible or most likely to happen today. Anywhere where you see that yellow going into the orange and then eventually into the red, that is where we have the best chance for severe weather. And we're talking about strong to damaging winds, potentially strong to damaging hail, and maybe even some isolated tornadoes strong at times. So anywhere into northeastern Texas, central and eastern portions of Oklahoma, western Arkansas, southwestern Missouri, and then also a very small portion there in southeastern Kansas. You are also going to be in it for tonight, all right? Now, the best way I know how to explain what's going to be happening tonight is if any of you that are watching like to bake a cake or anything else like that for somebody's birthday, you have to have like all the right ingredients to have that perfect cake. You have to have the water, the baking soda, or anything else like that in order to create that perfect cake. Well, when it comes to making severe weather outbreaks, you also have to have all the right ingredients in the atmosphere. For example, you have to have a very strong upper level low, which has been cut off from the ejection pattern, which we obviously have. You have to have a warm front and a cold front, a warm front, and a dry line. Here's the cold front right here. Here's the dry line, and then here's that warm front into central Texas. And then along with that, you have to have two streams of moisture pouring in. Our first one is going to be from the eastern Pacific, and then our second one is going to be from the northern Gulf of Mexico. So obviously, you can tell we have all the right ingredients that we need for severe weather. And really, as you may have guessed, anywhere in that middle of that moisture flow and out ahead of the frontal boundaries is where we have that best chance for severe weather. So obviously, anywhere in this general area where we're getting all of that moisture coming in, we have the best chance for tornadic thunderstorms and potential even more for severe weather, all right? As you might have guessed, on our analysis, we have everything that we need for a severe weather outbreak. We have the marginal, slight, enhanced, and moderate risk on our SPC outlook. As far as our watch probability, you could have guessed it. We're in that high category. And as far as our threats go, a very high threat for damaging winds, a very small threat for flooding, very high threat for large hail, and potentially even a moderate threat for tornadoes, all right? Now, there are several different radars that meteorologists use to try and really confirm tornadoes or even severe weather, all right? Our first two, this is the super res reflectivity, and this is showing us where the heaviest rain or potential hail is showing up. And then also you can kind of see right here how our radar kind of dips down and it tries to form somewhat of a hook echo. That is definitely nothing that we ever want to see. Let me tell you, if you ever see a hook echo associated with a radar, that is indicating a very strong supercell thunderstorm. Anywhere on this top edge right here, that is where we have the strongest winds, the rotating updraft, and potentially a tornado, all right? Our second one, this is the super res velocity, and this is basically showing us where the wind is at, how strong it is, and which direction it is blowing. Anywhere we see this red showing up, that is winds blowing towards the radar, and anywhere on this right side, anywhere we see that green, that is winds blowing towards the radar. And let me tell you, whenever we get two wind patterns blowing in opposite directions, running parallel and very close to each other, especially at very high speeds, that creates spin in the atmosphere, thus creating a funnel cloud, and then as soon as that funnel cloud starts to rotate down to the ground, and then eventually is rotating on the ground, you have got a tornado, all right? So anywhere where that red is closest to the green, right in there, that is exactly where we have that area of rotation. You can definitely see on our velocity, you see like where like that little purple marker is on that top side of the hook echo, and then also right in the middle of that velocity. That is exactly where we had the potential tornado. And then our last radar is called the correlation coefficient. Some meteorologists might shorten it by saying CC, and this is basically a radar showing us potential debris in the atmosphere. It tries to find anything that may be flying in the atmosphere, except for rain, for example, like debris. And if we do see debris, just like we're seeing right here, we can relate that back to where the hook echo is on our reflectivity, and also our rotation is on the velocity. And if obviously you can see that the debris ball is near the rotation and also near that hook echo on the reflectivity, you can almost guess that there is at least a EF1 tornado rotating on the ground, all right? Now, some of you might be wondering, what is the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning, okay? A watch means that conditions are favorable and tornadoes are possible in the designated area, okay? So this doesn't mean that we will see a tornado, but it is possible we could see one considering the conditions could be favorable. And last but not least, a warning means that the rotation has been notified or seen by either on radar or by an eyewitness spotter, and that you probably should get in your tornado shelter and wait to get out until either your local authorities or your weather radio tells you to get out. All right, let's talk about some of the threats that we're going to be seeing. For example, in Dallas, Texas, we have a low to moderate risk of tornadoes, a low to moderate risk of damaging winds, a low to moderate risk of hail, and the last but not least, I don't think we'll be seeing any flooding, but it is possible we could see some. Getting into Oklahoma City, this is probably going to be one of the cities that is going to be hardest affected by this outbreak. We're going to be seeing a high risk for tornadoes, a high risk for damaging winds, a high risk for damaging hail, and potentially a low to moderate risk of seeing any flash flooding, all right? And also, I forgot to mention, but we do have a torque count of 7, and what that means is that you have a 70% chance of seeing a tornado within a 50-mile radius. Let me give you an example. Let's say that Oklahoma City, which we do have right now a torque count of 7, that means that Oklahoma City has a 70% chance of seeing a tornado within a 50-mile radius, okay? Be sure you have a plan in place tonight, know what to do, know where to go. Make sure that all your emergency alerts are turned on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, or wherever you can get them. Please be sure to listen to your local authorities, the Weather Channel, myself, and anybody else that could potentially give you life-saving information. Because let me tell you, when it comes to severe weather, you do not want to take any chances. All right, I'll be updating you all night on my social media. On Facebook at Liam's Weather, on my Instagram at Liam's Weather, and also on my Twitter at Liam's Weather 621. And if I'm not doing anything, I will try and go live on YouTube. God forbid there is anything major going on, and I'll be with you every single step of the way, so that way you, your family members, and anybody else you know has a way to stay safe. All right. So that is going to be it tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.